thanks for clicking on today's video. Today we're going to be unboxing and reviewing a special gift sent by Htvront, and I'm going to be showing you 3 easy DIYs that you can conjure up using it. So make sure to stay tuned and let's go ahead and unbox and see what I got. As you can see here, they sent me a mini heat press, and I think these things are so cool because with their small size, they can do so many unique projects. But in full transparency, I do already have a mini heat press from a different maker, so I kind of look forward to comparing them and sharing a really honest review with you at the end of today's video. The first thing I noticed in the box was the instructions, and I was happy to see that they were very clear about what you are working with and what to expect. They also included a small canvas bag to hold your press in, and I feel like the material would be perfect to add vinyl to as well. I kind of had to hold myself back from going on a side quest to decorate it. I have Htvront linked down in the description, and you will also find a coupon code that they were awesome enough to share with my viewers today, so be sure to check that out. In addition to the press, they sent me one other goodie to check out, some glitter heat vinyl. And isn't it such a pretty pink? We're going to be using this in some of our DIYs today. In case you're new here today, I wanted to take a second to introduce myself before we get too far in. I'm Jackie, and this is my magical home, a place where you can find all kinds of creative homemaking ideas. Sometimes I'll take you along with me to clean and organize the house. Other times it's going to be a creative pursuit and we're going to be doing DIYs. Other times, we're going to be decorating for the holidays or preparing for a party or a movie night. And basically my goal is to add a little magic to everything that I do, trying to make those mundane life tasks into magical experiences. And I like to take you along with me for inspiration and motivation, and also because it is so much more fun to do all of these things with a friend. So I hope that you'll join me on this journey and hit that subscribe button down below. For our first DIY today, we are going to be customizing a pair of KitchenAid oven mitts. And I have this adorable DTF print that I had made on Canva, and I sent out to Small Town Apparel and had them printed out for me. But I've got to tell you, I was a little anxious about this DIY because I had never worked with DTF before. And I think I was really overinflating it in my head, and I really wasn't sure if a mini heat press was going to cut it. First thing, I need to turn on the press, and there are 4 heats available. But you're going to notice the light is red right now, but once it gets to the right temperature, it turns green. And as I'm a very visual person, I found that really helpful. Here's a list of what heat is appropriate for each material, and it's available on the Htvront website. I'll have it linked below. So these are the oven mitts that we're going to be customizing today, and I got them off Amazon. And they're from the brand KitchenAid, and they're kind of like a pale aqua gingham. I always like to get good quality oven mitts because I have burned myself with the ones that I've got from Dollar Tree and even some of the cheaper ones from Walmart too, and I am too afraid to get burned again. And this is the DTF image that I'm going to be putting on top. Isn't it so cute? Again, I had these designed and kind of came up with them off of Canva and had them printed by Small Town Apparel, and oh my goodness, they could not be better. There were instructions that came with these DTF prints, and so as I'm following those, I'm going to hold my heat press down firmly on the image for 15 to 30 seconds. And I was kind of concerned because my picture was a little big and I had to do it in pieces, but it ended up working out just fine. As recommended in the instructions, once the image had cooled, I took off the protective layer and heated it one more time with parchment paper for another 15 seconds to ensure a really good stick. And voila! I have the cutest oven mitts for the season. This was so easy. I cannot believe it. I can't believe I made it such a big thing in my head and was so afraid of this. And I also cannot wait to make more DTF projects with my mini press. In this DIY, we are going to be making custom name tags for my family's Easter baskets. And I'm going to be using a white heat transfer vinyl as well as that pink heat vinyl that we were sent from Htvront. So both products are theirs, and I am really excited to try this out. You guys, they turned out so much better than I had hoped, and I can't wait to continue to use these for years to come. They're just so simple, but they make such a big difference. As you can see, I have little wooden tags I picked up from our local Dollar Tree, and I'm going to paint them up, and then we're going to put our vinyl names on top. I'm using carrots for the human family and chicks for the fur family. When I'm painting most things, I like to start by adding a base color coat and then coming back and adding varying color tones on top to create a little bit more visual depth.
Make your thoughts a work of art. Climb a mountain if you like, but come back down with...
When I'm painting leaves, I prefer to use two tones and kind of mix them together, but only a little bit, so that when I'm painting, I'm actually adding multiple shades in a fluent, natural way.
Wish for you.
After measuring my tags, it was time to pick my font and get things sized up on Cricut. I am using the Cricut Pass today, so none of the images or the fonts that I'm using cost me any money. But if you don't have that as an option and you're looking for a cost-free way to do this, I suggest picking out your fonts and images and making them with a transparent background on Canva. Then, after downloading each image individually, just upload them to Cricut and size them. So if you're used to my channel, you know that I have tons of kitties, and I wasn't going to make tags for each and every one of them, of course, so I'm just going to put some pictures on their tag. Note I need to share with you guys about the glitter vinyl. First off, it transferred beautifully. It actually worked even better than normal vinyl, but it was incredibly hard to see where the lines were when it came time to weed the project. This isn't a deal breaker for me, but you need to know that going in. Once I'd placed my vinyl pieces just where I wanted them, I warmed up my press and used it for about 15 seconds on each piece. Then I let it cool and removed that protective layer, and they were done.
At your own pace, you need to find your way. I know now you'll never change your mind for something that matters.
You might be wondering, why am I using heat transfer vinyl for something as easy as a name tag? You're right, normal vinyl could work for this project. But here's the thing. In my experience, anytime that I make a project like this and I pack it away into a bucket and it gets rubbed on and mixed with other things, the names come off or they get messed up on a corner, and my OCD self just can't handle that. And then I have to scrap them all because now they don't match. And so to avoid all of that, I'm just using heat transfer vinyl because once I put it there, it's gonna stick.
To you, but what do you want? What's your biggest need? Every hour we spend together, then suddenly the chances are small, just like the lottery.
With our tags all done, it is time to add them to our baskets. I'm going to show you how they turned out on all of them, and I'm even going to give you a sneak peek into what they looked like when they were filled up with all their goodies.
It's been 72 weeks in this town. I still believe I'll see you again. No matter what, I got off the ground for something that matters to me. But what do you want? What's your biggest need? Every hour we spend together, then suddenly the chances are small, just like the lottery. I just hope we could stay together. We wait and see, but the chances are small, just like the lottery.
For the last DIY project I'm going to be sharing with you today, we are going to be making no-sew bandanas for my furry sweethearts. Now, I will be using the same white and pink glitter vinyl that we used earlier so that we can personalize them, adding their names, making them even more unique and special. So let's go ahead and get started. So this bandana is the inspiration for this last project, and I bought it for one of my dogs years ago, and I love that you can put the collar right through the top instead of tying it. Having it this way makes it so much easier to not lose your doggy bling when you're on walks and adventures, and believe me, that has happened to me multiple times. So, but that being said, when I make these again, I'm going to make them a full triangle instead of having those squared off edges, just because I think it'll look a little better. Let's talk about how we're making this. As you can see, I'm adding about 1/2 inch around my bandana and just tracing the overall shape. That extra 1/2 inch though is very important because we're going to need it to fold over and finish the edges of our bandana and keep them from fraying. At the top, I'm going to add an extra 2 inches or so as a flap to fold over and hold those collars. Remember when measuring this though, that you need to set aside about 1 inch of fabric more than you would guess to hold your collar. And that is because, like the sides, we need to finish the top to stop it from fraying. And because you need to account for the area that connects to itself. If you don't, you may find that your collar doesn't fit. I like to make sure that my pattern is equal on both sides by folding it in half to make sure that the points meet. If you do this and find that it's not exactly equal, just trim off the extra. Before you trace that pattern, I have an important tip that you need to know. You need to make sure that your print on your bandana is going the right direction. So for instance, I have unicorns. I need to make sure that when my dog is wearing this unicorn bandana, the unicorns are placed exactly how they should look. Otherwise, your unicorn might be like going to the side or all crazy, and it'll ruin your project. Yes, I am using the colored pencil to trace. Not only am I drawing on the back of the fabric, it will also be cut and folded so no one's going to see my lines. But I do dream of someday getting an invisible ink pen that I see people use sometimes. They look so cool. I decided to use this adorable unicorn pattern I found available at Walmart in a pre-cut yard. It was way more fabric than I truly needed, but I liked the thickness of it. If you use too stiff of a fabric or too thin of a fabric, it just won't lay right or it'll be almost translucent. And I will have it linked with the other items used in this video in the description. As I mentioned earlier, this is going to be a no-sew bandana. I wanted to see how many ways I could use this fun new press to achieve my DIYs. So we're going to be using Htvront peel and stick fuse tape to seal our edges today, and it's beyond easy. You basically just place the tape exactly where you'd like it, which today means right on the edge of our fabric, and then do a quick iron to help it seal. There's a protective tape on top, so you don't have to worry about ruining your press or using parchment. And then you remove the protective layer, fold it over, use the press once again to seal those two fabrics together, and it's done. There's also a glue form of this fuse that works awesome as well. We're going to use that fuse tape all around the edges of the bandana, and then once again as we fold over that top flap to make our collar slot. You may be wondering, do I really need to seal the edges of my bandana? It's for a dog. Yeah, you definitely do, especially because it's for a dog, because you're going to need to be able to wash these bandanas. And if you don't seal the edges, when you take them out of the washing machine, they're going to be a tangled, stringy mess, basically ruining all of your hard work.
The wind blowing in the trees. Oh, I will open up my eyes so I can see the light. Oh, and I'll try to spread my wings so I can fly. Oh, and the darkness starts to fade. Feels like things are gonna go my way. I'm gonna let the sun shine in the day.
So that's it. It was that easy to make this bandana, and I feel like the compactness of this press was perfect for this project. I could control exactly where I was ironing. It made it so simple. And it's time to personalize these babies. Now, once again, I used that pink heat glitter vinyl as well as the white heat vinyl to add my personalizations. And I wanted them kind of layered so that the white peeked out from behind the pink. So first I applied my white name, and then I followed with the pink. I was slightly concerned that the layering might mess up the bottom vinyl, but they turned out perfect and exactly as I had hoped for. I cannot wait to hear what you guys think.
Be carried by the waves. Oh, I will open up my eyes so I can see the light. Oh, and I'll try to spread my wings so I can fly. Oh, and the darkness starts to fade. Feels like things are gonna go my way. I'm gonna let the sun shine in the day. Open up my eyes so I can see the light.
And now it's time to review this mini heat press. So first off, Htvront, if you aren't familiar with them, is a company that has various different heat vinyl presses. They've got some for hats, they've got them for cups, they've got this one that just kind of goes down automatically for your shirts and stuff. I mean, like, they've got the top of the line products. I'm sure you've seen them on Amazon, and I have to tell you, they're actually really worth it. I wasn't sure because, you know, there are so many of these companies out there, especially as you're scrolling through Amazon. Like, how many different heat presses are there? For real. Actually leading to the part that I have another heat press like this that I have purchased previously, a mini heat press actually, and it does not work as well. Like, on many of the projects that I've used that other little one before, I have to like continue to heat it longer than it's supposed to because it's just not heating evenly, or the vinyl doesn't transfer correctly, and I didn't have any problems like that with this machine. Actually, some of the things that I noted that I thought were really cool is I like that when it gets too hot or it's too cold for its temperature, it'll start beeping, and it will not stop until you turn off the machine and you turn it back on again, and it gets to reheat and get to the regulated temperature that it's supposed to. And I think that's going to be really helpful for, especially for someone like me who dawdles with their projects and takes a long time. I know that I'm not going to be ruining something because I don't have it at the right temperature. So that was a really key thing for me. I like its size. I think it's convenient. It's a nice color. But largely, I'm just really overtaken with the quality of like the actual heat press itself and the things that it can pull off, like that DTF print. When I first told my friend that Prince DTS that I was going to use a mini heat press, you could see that there was like a little hesitance. They were like, push really hard. And so like, I was paranoid. I was like, oh my God, this is not gonna work. And I was even more afraid to be doing it in the middle of a project for you guys. But luckily, I mean, it was so easy. Like, I need to get more DTS. Like, now that I know what I can do with this thing, I'm gonna make a shirt. I thought that it was gonna be too small for something like that, but I am going to try it on my next project, and I'm just so psyched about it. So I definitely would recommend this product. And honestly, even the quality of the vinyl from Htvront was better than the stuff I've been getting from Cricut and from Walmart. Like, it actually came off of the paper better. The only thing that I had that is a con was the glitter vinyl. I could not tell where the lines were that were cut. I had such a hard time. I actually printed that 2 or 3 times before I got it right on camera. And but it transferred perfectly. So it just takes a little bit of that extra time, and that's something needing to go in. But I have to admit, I'm really impressed by the quality of their products. And that is not because they sent me a free heat press. That's just because their products speak for themselves. So I will have this linked down below, as well as a free coupon code sent to you from Htvront so that you can get a discount off of their products today. So make sure to click that button down below so that they know that you saw how awesome their stuff was and got sent there from my video. Anyways, though, this is where I'm going to end today's video, and I hope that you have really enjoyed checking out this new toy with me and seeing what we could do with it. I can't wait to see you next time, my friends, and have a magical day.